We are asking permission from our Seyh, Sahib al-Sahib, Shabin Kabisi Rabbani. May Allah raise his station higher and higher. May his return be soon. May we be ready when he returns. May we be good ones. We are asking his permission before we speak. He is our Seyh, Dunya and Akhirat. So we're asking him to send us some knowledge that is fresh and alive, that is going to give us benefit, Dunya and Akhirat. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We have a question? Say.
What causes us to lose our faith and what makes us to give more faith?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Same question. What makes us to lose our faith? And what makes us to have more faith, to increase the faith? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Tariqatuna Sohbet fil Hayr min Jamiyat. Our tariqat is based on association. With association, you will increase your faith. Without association, you will decrease your faith. The most difficult thing to do in this world is not to make these computers. It's not to build tall buildings. It is not to turn metal into gold. The most difficult thing in the world to do is to change the heart of a man. To make that man's heart to turn from dunya to akhirat. That is the most difficult thing to do. To make the nafsu amara into a nafsu mutma'in. This most difficult work is only given to the choicest, the best humans. And these are the ones that we call the prophets. And their inheritors, the awliya Allah. The most difficult job given to the best. Who can do it? This is not given to everyone. This work is not given to everyone. And even with the prophets, the one with the most success, with the most perfection, with the most completion, it is the last, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, the seal of the prophets. But the majority of the ummah, of the followers of these prophets, their nations, they reject them. Majority don't want this. Majority refuse to change. Majority, they don't like the truth that they brought to turn their hearts away from this dunya to the world. And they say there is no such thing as the afterworld, as the afterlife of the akhirat. There is only this dunya, majority of them are saying, including the nation of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Majority from that time until now is not accepting him, and not accepting Allah, and not accepting that there is an afterlife. Is that true or false? It is true. Right now it is. The most difficult work is given to the prophets and their inheritors. And in the most distinguished Nakshibendi order, it is carrying this responsibility, this work, and this secret. That's why our tariqat is not based on worship or reading the Quran or ilm. You understand? So many consider it ilm or Arabic. It concentrates on what? Association. Because the prophets, they give advice, and the awliya Allah, they give association. Seyh Naksibendi is saying only the prophets they give advice. We give associations. So association makes the man to turn. Because when the prophets they came, the first thing they did is not to teach the people how to pray or how to recite the Quran or ilm. The first thing they did was what? Association. To speak about Allah, to speak about the hereafter, to speak about the falseness of this dunya, to wake up the people. That is the most difficult thing to do. But the majority, they're not accepting this. Because the majority, they want to sleep. Majority, they have faith in this world. They have faith only in what the 5 senses, only 5, not 15, not 50, 5 senses that they are locked and trapped in, and they believe in that. They don't believe in anything else. So for a man to increase his faith, he has to be in the association of the prophets. He has to be in the associations of the saints. He has to be with the Salihin. This is an order. This is an order coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You cannot increase your faith if you are not in Jama'at, if you are not in Sohbet. You cannot increase your faith if you're alone. You understand? And what happens? What makes your faith to become decreased? What makes your faith to come down? What makes a man to lose faith? Not to have faith. Everything has a proof. Everything has a proof. There's a proof of your faith. There's a proof of prophethood. There's a proof that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. There's a proof for everything. Now, if you say that you have faith, prove it. If you say that you are in association, prove it. So now we go deeper and we go higher. You are in association. Very good. Your faith should increase, isn't it? Because it is only in association that your faith can increase. Prove it now. Don't wait for Judgment Day. Don't wait for the grave, for the angels to ask you to prove it, what your faith is. You prove it. You think your faith has increased? You have faith? Prove it. You think that you're always in association, which so many of you are, every Thursday, every Friday. So put it out. Look to see what you have achieved. That time you cannot fool anyone, isn't it? You cannot fool anyone. And you don't need anyone to tell you what it is. It is in front of you. Don't play games with yourselves to say, at this station, I'm at this level. Don't play games with yourself to say, no, I'm nothing. I'm no one. I'm worse than zero. Both are games. One to imagine that you are somewhere, and the other is to say, I am nowhere, so I'm not responsible for anything that I'm doing. You must be responsible. So lay it out in front of you and say, what have you benefited from your faith? What have you gained? What is it that you have improved to show that your faith is increasing? And if you look in the list, my faith is actually, there's not real any proof there that my faith has increased. Did you increase your, because we were talking about what? Sohbet. And Sohbet is concentrating on what? Stepping on your ego, isn't it? Not to be in ghaflat. Then look. How many times today, yesterday, last week, last month, this whole past year, have you made your ego to be riding you? And how many times when you catch your ego, when your ego is going to go off to drag you somewhere and you're catching it and you are riding your ego? You will know. How many times you have been in ghaflat, and how many times when you are going to be in ghaflat, you catch yourself. You'll find the answer in front of you. New Year resolution. Resolution, they say. Intention. You know that in the illusion and delusion calendar, we are going to enter, inshallah Rahman, like this or like that, the new year, 14, what? Say. Yeah, you don't know, he has to think. But he's a computer man, every day dealing with numbers. You know? Do you know? He's failed again. I asked him, you know or not? He's giving me the answer. I didn't ask him for the answer. So now, we can gauge ourselves now. Where we are. We're entering into a new year. They have New Year resolution. We're entering into a new year. So sit and think. We are what? Concentrating on tafakkur. So sit down and think. You didn't think once a day. Think once a week. You didn't. Think once a month. You didn't. At least think once a year. Sit down and think, where was I in this month, in this month, in this month, in these weeks, in these days? What happened to me? That time you're putting everything in the balance and you are judging yourself and you are checking yourself. Once you do that, you're sleeping. Out. You finish your credit already. Huh? So now, in these days, we have to be very aware and awake, because as the years pass, we are coming closer to the end. We're not moving further away from it. But so many, they're making very long-term plans. We are coming closer. And when the events come, we will need the association and the Jamaat. That is the time when we will be ready, inshallah. So, a man increases his faith when he's always looking that he's low in his faith. You understand? If you always look at yourself low and you're trying to increase it every time, you will. That means you're always checking the gauge. A man will not increase his faith. Faith we're talking about. If he looks at his faith and he says, it's okay, or he doesn't even look at his faith. Sit down somewhere. Now is not the time for eating or drinking. If he looks at the gauge and he sees that he is always low, then he's always going to fill it up. That time your faith will increase. But if you are not interested, you're not checking, meaning you're not checking your faith. Meaning everything becomes robotic. Everything becomes a habit. Like so many of you, robots, dead hearts. Coming empty, going empty. Not interested, heart is not there, eyes are dead. Huh? The eyes are dead, everything is, the hearts are dead. There's no life. But if we change the sohbet into something else, into a dunya matter, everyone is going to be awake. Seyh Efendi has showed us that so many times. It's giving a sohbet. Everyone is listening. Some saying, I heard this before so many times. Why is he saying this again? Some saying inside, can he give us some other secrets? Everyone's looking for secrets. Some not interested. So many things, but he changes that into something that is very light. It doesn't have anything. A joke. Everyone becomes alive. So now you test your faith. You see your gauge, it increase or it decrease. Test your faith. Do I have faith? How is my faith today? What did I do for the sake of Allah? Don't think faith is a feeling. Don't think that faith, it is a high. That's not faith. The Sahabe Kiram, they have the highest level of faith next to the prophets. They were not in a high. Their faith was tested every single day for 23 years, at least. If you don't test your faith, that's the time your faith is going to decrease. If you don't check your gauge, that's the time your faith is definitely going to decrease. Because you're not interested in your faith. If you're interested in your faith, like people, if they're not interested in money, what do? They don't collect money, right? They don't work, they don't collect money because they're not interested. What happens if people are interested in money? They work hard, they collect money. If you're interested in faith, you're going to start collecting it. You're going to look at it. If you're not interested in faith, you're just going to leave it alone. And don't think that faith is something that is going to be so easy in these days. Faith in these days is what? It's like carrying fire in your hands. Prophet is saying, the end of days, in the Akhir Zaman, faith is like carrying fire in your hands. Is our faith like carrying fire? Or are we complaining that it's a little bit too hot or too cold? May Allah make our faith to be increased. May we always be with the people of faith, because they are the ones who can help us with the faith, really. How did the nations of the prophets, they have faith? The prophets showed them the faith, isn't it? Prophets, they left their inheritors are the people of faith. So be with the people of faith. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. May Allah forgive me and bless all of you for the sake of Sahibul Seyh. And may all barricades that are in front of us in doing Allah's work be lifted. May all the fitna and the confusion be far away from us. May we be strong. May all bad eyes and evil intentions and all the wrong things be taken away from us. May we be ones who are strong and awake in the work that is ahead of us. May we have more patience. May we have more intelligence. May we have faith. For the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, for the sake of Sultan al-Awliya and Sahibul Seyh, for the sake of the coming year, inshaAllah Rahman. Al-Fatiha. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Any questions? Yeah. Very good. I think that Sohbet covered a lot of things. If you don't have passion, you are dead. Isn't it? How many Turkish Ottoman poems there is about like this? Endless. The passion, the ashq, ashq, the ashq, the passion, it is the most important thing. If you don't have that passion, it is like a body without a life. May Allah make it easy, inshallah. May Allah give us more passion. Don't think passion is just you sitting down and you think, I must have passion. Passion is nice. Talking about passion, no. It is not. When you have passion, you will sacrifice. And when you sacrifice, you will have passion. If you're not sacrificing, no passion. What does Allah want us to sacrifice? Our ego, nothing else. We just finished the feast of sacrifice, Eid al-Adha. Now we are entering into the new year. And then we're going to enter into that day where the biggest sacrifice was also made, the day of Ashura. Keep this in mind, inshallah rahman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Have a good night.